everything I just said. Pretend it's last year's math class where your teacher didn't do this and you actually had to remember stuff. The F is the name so we can differentiate between different equations. All right? We always use a letter of the alphabet. X is simply our either IV or input. Now we use X because that is the generic value we put for a number we don't know. All right? So, what really happens with this is it is called f of x equals 1/2 x minus 2. And this is no longer y. What does this become? F of x. Because this is my dv and my output. Now, if I wrote this, g of x equaled 2x plus 7, and here, I shouldn't use red because I used red there. Wait a minute, let me fix this problem for us. G of x equals 2x plus 7, and I wrote g of x here. Where would I now put those? I would put them in to g of x. If it was f of x, I would put them in there. Does everyone understand? The math that we are going to do now that you've seen the reason for it, this is the concept. Y now equals f of x. Everywhere you see f of x or g of x or h of x or q of x or m of x or n of x, it is an output or a y value. Everybody understand? So 2x and f of x3 still on a graph is -2, -3. Is everybody good? It's a very easy switch. Yes? Let us see then, cabbages. Here is a function. F of x equals 2x minus 7. That's the one I just called g of x, yes? All right. So, f of x equals 2x minus 7. What this says is anything I input will be multiplied by 2, and then 7 will be subtracted from the answer. Yes? Because of BEDMAS, right? Okay. So, you will notice I have the f of 2, and I have the f of 3. What is different in these three incarnations? Oh, -3, thank you. But again, what is different? This is f of x. I'm going to double x and subtract 7. What is this? F of 2. So I'm not going to double x. What am I going to double? 2. So since it's f, I work with the f function. And I write f of 2 equals 2 times what? What goes here? 2, because I want the f of 2, no longer the f of x, minus 7. What is 2 times 2? 4 minus 7. And what is 4 minus 7? -3. Now, what would be the point that we would put on a graph using this function? 2, -3. This is the graph coordinates. Everybody understand? Excellent. Now, do I want the f of x now? I want the f of -3. So I do not want to double x. What do I wish to double? negative 3 minus 7. What is 2 times negative 3? Negative 6 minus 7 is negative 13. There is a second function with an input and an output. What is the point that we would put on the graph? Negative 3, negative 13. Does everyone understand? I think you're liars. I want you to do the f of 3 halves. Fractions? Go. That's the function named f. Hazel, do you have an answer? Well, don't tell me it. Okay.
So
for this one is negative 3, negative 13.
So what's the number you get and the number that comes as the output?
Just like we just did twice, yes. So what will I be writing here? 2, 3 over 2. What do the 2 and 2 do? Cancel. 3 minus 7 equals negative 4. What is the point that will go on the graph? 3 halves, which is also 1.5, and negative 4. Okay? Now, don't write down the next one. What would you do if I told you I wanted the f of lightning bolt? It would be 2 lightning bolt minus 7. Done. What if I wanted the f of dollar sign? 2 dollar sign minus 7. What if I wanted the f of a peace sign? 2 peace sign minus 7. Everybody figuring this out? Whatever's in those brackets goes in for the independent variable. Okay? What if I was comparing time to temperature? Would it be, well, no, time and temperature are bad ones. Time and wages. What would you name that function? F of what? F of t, because time is the independent variable. And since most of you would make minimum wage, and it's something around, what, $11.50 or something now?
12.
It's 12 something?
$12.50.
$12.50?
$12.30.
Whatever. So it would be 12.50 T. That's appalling. All right. Now let us see if you really gets it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do the same thing, but we're actually going to graph. So, what is the g of 6? What do I do? Negative 2/3 times what? 6 plus 1. What is negative 2/3 times 6? This is my favorite class. Jesse? Negative 4. Which is, what is the point that is going on the graph? 6, negative 3. Let's change colors. What is the g of negative 3? negative 2/3 times negative 3 plus 1, which is what? 2 plus 1, which is 3. What is the point that is going on the graph? And lastly, what is the g of 0? Negative 2/3 times 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1, 1. And the point on the graph is 0, 1. Now graph it. Have I graphed the points? Have I completed the graph? No, of course not. What do I need to complete the graph? A line. Why do I need a line? Because it is, no, it is a function. It is what kind of data? Why is it continuous data? Because I can take any number, multiply it by 2/3, and add to it. So I must draw the line. Everybody good? Now, yes, Ken. No, if it's like that, it's cool. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everything we have done there was algebraic. Right? Okay. Now, down here, on the next one, I want you to split your page in half. On this side, we will do algebraic. On this side, we are going to use the graph, because you must be able to do this with both. What is the function that we have? We have g of x equals negative 2/3 x plus 1, correct? Right? That's the function we're working with, yeah? Okay. What does that say? G of x equals 7. Where do you see the term g of x? Right there. Which means what do I write there? 7. And what does 7 equal? Negative 2/3 x plus 1. Because in this case, I only have an output. What is my job algebraically here? Isolate x. What do I do with this plus 1? Subtract it. 6 equals negative 2/3 x. What do I do with that 3? Multiply both sides. 18 equals negative 2x. What do I do with that negative 2? Divide by negative 2 to get negative 9 equals x. What then is the point on the graph? Negative 9, 7, because this quite plainly says x equals negative 9. Does everybody understand? Now, let us go back to our graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if this line were indeed straight, because I didn't use a ruler, I would hit it. Is everybody good? Okay. Now we're going to do it graphically. Is this an input or an output value? My output equals 7. On a graph, my output is my dv equals 7. And on a graph of numbers, my dv is what? It's the y, right? So I would go up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there. Because I know the y value is 7. But I don't want the y value. I want the value of x. So I go across until I find the line, and then I get the x value, which was -9. Can everybody do this both ways? If you can't yet, of course you know there is more practice coming, but you need to speak up right now if you are not at least taking the first step down the journey to understanding. Is there anybody that cannot fathom 1, 2, or both? Hazel? Well, that's a very good question. Because originally we only had these points, didn't we? But because it's discrete data, we knew that line was going to continue, right? Right? So once it continued, then we could have gone up to 7 and across to 9. Because it would have to hit there. I'm not sure what you asked me. I thought it was that. Yeah, you have to have something on the graph to figure out other stuff on the graph. That, you should have learned in grade 9, is what we call extrapolation. Now, let us practice. Do I have a graph over here? Do I have a coordinate grid over here? So what do I want you to do here? Algebraic or graphic? Algebraic. So let us begin. We have a new function. Let's meet them. M of x is 4/3 x plus 2. I need to find the m of 7. I need to find the m of 1, and I need to find the m of x equaling 5, which means, what am I seeking here, an x or a y value? I am seeking an x value, which is also a dv, an IV, or an input. So let us begin. I do not want the m of x anymore. What do I want? The m of 7. Since that x has become 7, what will this x become? 7. Well done. Plus 2. What is 7 times 4/3? Bringing back Mrs. Bad Crumble, kicking it old school. 28 over 3 plus 2. Now 2 is 6 over 3, yes? So it is 34 over 3, which is, of course, 11 1/3. Now there's another way you could have done that. You could have, and I'm going to change shades of green, you could right here, you could have said this was 9 1/3 plus 2, yes? Which would get me back to 11 1/3. Now, what then is the point on the graph? 7 and 11 1/3. Let us do the m of 1. Since the x became 1, what will this x become? 1 plus 2, which is 4/3 plus 2, which is, again, you have a choice. It is 4/3 plus 6/3, which is 10/3, which is 3 1/3, or And I don't think I have another shade of gray, which is a pain. I'll use blue. Because, you know, there's 50 of them. 50 shades of gray, Hazel. Anyways, here you could have gone 1 1/3 plus 2 and gotten back to 3 1/3. And what is the point on the graph? 1 and 3 1/3. Now, what changes for purple? We're given the m of x. So is it going to look like this? No. It's going to be 5 equals what? 4/3 x plus 2. What is my job? Find x. What do I do with the 3? 2? I just gave it away because that's the answer. What do I do with the 2? Bring it over and it becomes 3 equals 4/3 x. Now what do I do? Multiply by 3. 9 equals 4x. And what does x equal? 9/4, which is 2 1/4. So what is the point on the graph? 2 1/4, 5. Are you all good? Excellent. In the next minute, I lie, I give you 2 minutes. Do 6. Algebraically or graphically? Algebraically. How do you know to do it algebraically? Because there's no graph. Go. 2 minutes. Starting now. Let's see. I race you. Done. Done? Confidently done? Quack like a duck when you have a confidently done answer. Nice duck impression. Good job, Toby. Which is ironic because I have had duck bacon. Oh, it's delicious. No, bacon is a process. You take the meat, you cure it with some sort of sugary solution, and then you smoke it. I mean, you smoke it. You don't like roll it up and light it up. No, you put it in a house with a bunch of smoke. But yes, duck bacon is delicious. Because, of course, duck fat is delicious. If any of you ever chance to go to a restaurant with duck fat fries, 2 minutes, you want to order them. Because what they do is they fry the fries in duck fat. There is the answer. Could everybody do it? Excellent. And of course that was recorded. Turn the page over. Whoa! What do you see? So how are we going to do these ones? Graphically. All right? Now, The curvy one is f of x. The straight one is g of x. So when we do A, will we be looking on the curvy one or the straight one? The curvy one. How do you know? Because of the f. Is this an x or a y value? That is an x value. X equals -3. Now, if I am ever dealing with a function or with graphs, I need two values, don't I? An independent variable and a dependent variable. How many values do I know in 7a? I only know one of them. Where is that value? Right there. All I know is that I need to be at x equals -3. So now I need to find the y that works with that is on the correct curve. Now, when I say curve, that line technically is also a curve. It's just a curve it's a constant curve, technically. So where do I go? Down until I hit what I am dealing with. Now I get that y value. What is it? Equals -2. Everybody cool? Now, I am going to erase this because I need to show you all of these, yes? I have an answer. No. If you've got the graph, you don't need to. But if you've not got the graph, and I say I want something graphically, you have to do algebra to get the graph. Now, g of 0, is that an x or a y value? X equals 0. On which curve? The straight line. Why? Because that is the g function. Since it's an x value of 0, I go right here. What value do I seek? A y value. Are there any y values this way at 0? No. So I go up, and lo and behold, I hit a y value. What is it? It is 2. We only care of the straight line. Now, everybody has seen this twice, yes? All of you seek C. I will start you off by reminding you that is an x value of -2. And you will notice I'm keeping the color coding there for you.
How did you decide that F was the correct one and G was the...
Because I told you it was.
Okay, so if you didn't know it would... Okay.
Now, at teacher school, they tell us I'm supposed to just ask someone. But at kids' school, when I was there, I hated it when the teacher did that. That's why I always ask if anybody has an answer. Problem with that, it's always the same people that give the answers. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. What's the answer? -3. Why? Because I went to -2 and I sought my y value. Everybody good? Excellent. Now, let's separate the tough guys from the not so tough guys. Is this an x or a y value? That is a y value of 1. Do you have the tools to solve this? I should think so. What is the answer to D? Do not shout it out. Give your colleagues a chance to find it themselves. You will do the same thing. You will follow the same method. You will go to different places. Go. All right. Where do I go to start this question? I go to 1 on what axis? The y-axis. And I must now seek x values. Do I have one right there? Yes. So the value of x when f of x is 1 is 0, correct? Is that the right answer? No, of course not, because that's only half the right answer. Because what happens right there? Is there a y value of 1 there? Does it have an x value? What is it? -4. And we usually use a semicolon when listing that way, so we don't confuse it as a coordinate. Everybody understand? The other way you'll see that written is x equals 0 and x equals -4. You might see it written that way. Is everybody good? Great. You try E. E. Is it a y or an x value? Y equals 3. So where do I go? Up to 3. Which curve do I seek? The straight line. I seek an x value, so I go over till I hit it. Then I find the x value is what? And lastly, g of 4, x or a y value? X equals 4, so I go out to where x is 4, and I find the line. Where is it? Down, and I get the y value of g of 4. G of 4 equals -2. Is everybody good? Everybody can still do algebra? Everybody still knows what an x and a y is? Everybody knows that g of x is a y coordinate. Yes? And the g of 7 is an x coordinate. Right? Cool? This is function f, and we're dealing with x's and y's, yeah? Cool? Okay. If I want the f of 2, x is now 2. So it's an x value. F of 2 equals 2 plus 2, which is 4. This is an output, so it is a y value. So it is 2, 4. Now, if I told you the f of x equaled 4, f of x, I don't know x. So this must therefore be a y value, right? So go back up to here, f of x, f of x. F of x equals 4. So this equals 4. Then I would solve it. Bring the 2 over. 2 equals x, which we knew it to be true. Okay? Everybody good? Excellent. Now please notice, we did this whole unit and I forgot to give you a quiz. Page 207, and it goes forever. Why is it so big? Look at all the pictures. Pictures take up space. The questions end at page 211. You have the answers. Tomorrow is a short day. You will start the review. Thursday is a short day. You will finish the review and we will mark it. Friday is a Pro D day. You will have no class. Monday, after a 3-day weekend, is a stupid day to give you a test. So when is your test on functions? Right. Tuesday, after a 4-day weekend, is a stupid day to give you a test. So when is your test on functions? Functions test Wednesday. 1 week from tomorrow. On Tuesday, will we be doing math? Yeah, it will be the next unit because it is helpful for this unit. Everybody clear? All right. Go. You know you